let me first, hold up. I think sometimes we just forget that we're still human beings. Yeah, I think it's important that everyone should know their status. Knowing your status is the first step to really kind of having that conversation. I think it's important we learn how to tackle stigma and get rid of it. I think it's such an extremely amazing thing that I get to do this every day and meet such great people and learn their story and share some of their story with the people that watch us every day. To remember to stay hopeful in victory. If you haven't noticed, is National HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. Anyone who categorizes himself under the title Black. Today is a day to bring awareness within our communities, and of course within this beautiful month, which is what? But like I said, taking that break before I get all that great stuff. So here we are. I know it's been a while since I actually posted, but I figure take a break, recuperate. Like, it was really hard to get life, work balance, life, work, and just social balance figured out, because I was having all of these ideas come together, and I'm like, you know what? Instead of trying to mush them together, how about I go ahead, take a couple of weeks off, and just dive deep into like pre-production, different people I want to talk to, and plan all the way up until 3 months. Today I actually wanted to go ahead and talk about, and again, let me go ahead and give you a dab of that coffee. Bing! See, I'm too greedy. That's what happens when you're greedy. You spill. You don't get all of it, you spill. I wanted to focus on fears, heartbreak, and betrayal. Now, these are all three things that we experience, in our lives, not being positive or negative. But I kind of want to focus on the aspect of a person who is positive. Bing, bing, me. Let's go ahead and start with heartbreak. The difference with dating while being positive and not being or being negative, I think plays a key role in how the person behaves. Not like it's the source of why a person who is positive acts a certain way, but speaking from experiences, trying to please, really just trying to be the best person that I can and be all knowing. And we all have those point in times where we're kind of like, oh, we want to know all this and we want to do all this, but that's not the case. I think in that relationship, when my first partner when I was why can't I get that out? I told you I took like a 2-year break from dating anyone, about almost 2 years really. What I had learned over time and time again is that I was not the best communicator. I think, and the reason why I say that, because I've always been pretty good at communicating how I feel, but I think once I've kind of got a taste, if you will, or like when my who I was, my status was kind of mocked on my university's campus, I think things really changed. It took a right and then it took a left. And then when it took a right and left, I was going left and it was going right, and then when I was trying to go right, it was going left. So I'm like, oh my God. Living as a black person, society tends to make us believe that we fit in certain type of categories or certain type of boxes, and we don't necessarily fit in those boxes. I'm black, but I'm not black, kind of thing, where I may talk proper, or I may slur, but doesn't mean that I'm not black or I'm acting white, kind of thing. And that was a lot of the case that I had overcome before I was HIV positive. And when I became HIV positive, then there was a new nuance of issues that I had to kind of communicate with myself, with my partner,
and it wasn't going that well. Having this issue, I went to therapy. But then as I learned over time, after being in another relationship after that one, I had discovered that, I was experiencing heartbreak because I was, always in the mindset of being a victim. You know what I'm saying? The reason why that carried with me for so long was because of the severity of when I found out about my diagnosis. And I think everyone has a severity that they experience when they are told that they have something, a permanent illness. It was like, I want this amazing and fulfilling relationship, but I wasn't necessarily tackling the root issue within myself, so that I can be able to talk to my partner and say like, yo, this is what's going on with me. You know what I'm saying? So every person that was kind of came into my life as a partner, when they had come into my life, it was coming into my life to kind of like save me from some like certain things that I was not necessarily having issues with facing myself, but I wasn't necessarily talking about it. So I think a lot of the times when you are HIV positive, communication can go out the window, and then internalization kind of comes in the front door. And you're just kind of like, okay, well, this person, internalization, think of it as a person, okay? Just metaphorically, okay, y'all? Walking in your door, you're just like, hey, let's have a cup of tea. And next thing you know, it's like 5 years later, it's like, oh, damn, we still drinking the same cup of tea. Like, this tea is disgusting. Like, it's bitter. It makes me feel disgusting, and it's not attractive. It's not what I got change in my pocket. Not what I want to be vibrating to the universe, because the universe will then send that shit in my realm. So I think what I had learned over the past couple of years is to just really, if ever I have an issue within myself, it's like figure out what's the root cause of this making me feel like this, versus trying to like extinguish a certain person or get rid of a certain person and like say, oh, that was a problem, bye. And it's like, no, like I think as a man you grow up and you learn how to face the consequences of your results and figure out how to then if it's a bad result or is a consequence, how to then turn it into a solution, how to then turn it into a positive. Because hey, that's what we do around. We turn things into positive things, because guess what? I'm a positive person. So that was one of the things that I had to face while kind of discovering myself, and still am discovering myself. The other issue was betrayal, which closely aligns with heartbreak. As you all know, like, love is the opposite of hate. And, in between love and hate lies betrayal, lies cheat, lies deceit, lies fake. Like all the different like half things and half not, all the things that are around it, kind of thing. So when I was experiencing heartbreak, that was when I, felt like I had abandoned some sense of myself, or I betrayed some sense of myself, because I didn't make it in this relationship, or I couldn't make it last, or I couldn't make it work. And the thing is, it's like, no, it's like you didn't betray yourself. It just didn't work out because it didn't work out. Instinct, if you will, of survival mode, which I always coined, that I get from my mom, and it feels amazing. But the reason how I got there was because survivor. I survived a lot of things, and I was able to turn that trait of surviving to hustle, to grinding. And some people look at hustle and grinding, the grind, not grinder, the grind, as a bad thing, and it isn't. It's and that's the one thing that I actually wanted to speak around betrayal, is that you don't necessarily have to explain why you do the things that you do. And that took me a while. When it comes to love or just general relationship with people, you want them to understand you as best you can. You want someone to understand you. You want people to understand you, because guess what? As a human, we are social creatures. So we want to be understood. But we have to remember that we are fallible at the same time. And so I wasn't really putting those together. I was like, well, You know, I am a social creature, and I want you to understand this about me. But at the same time, like, understand this about me. But anyways, getting back to why I had betrayal lies closely with the next subject that I want to talk about, which is fear. You know, when you have a sense of betrayal, I think all my life I have gone through so many things. I took a lot of hurt through my childhood up until I was like an adult, because I was just angry. No one understood me. I felt like I wasn't being understood, and I wasn't talking because I was internalizing a lot of stuff. Just tell your truth and live your truth. I know, like, yeah, girl gotta have some secrets. The things that makes us fallible aren't the things that we should be hiding. The things that makes us human, we shouldn't hide. I think we should learn how to embrace them, and it's easy to say. It truly is, but it takes time to get there. Fear can take you to very dark places. You know, times that I was being betrayed by the world, and all the times that the world has hurt me. I shouldn't. You don't have to carry that. And as a black person, sometimes we're made to feel like we need to carry that. Sometimes we are reminded that that happened, and that we should still carry that. Because we have been betrayed and heartbreak by a lot of things, we forget that childlike perspective of the world, and that's within ourselves, and we kind of lose out on so many things because we have been maybe traumatized, maybe hurt, but you're not damaged, and you're not damaged good. You're not seconds. I think it just takes time, and it takes maybe some professional help to kind of realize that, yeah, you have been hurt, and yeah, you have been betrayed, but not everyone you meet is going to hurt you or betray you. And I accept the fact that I have walls that are like the Great Wall of China sometimes, not all the times, but I know when they're up, and I know that, like, no, this is not what I want. I don't want the old me. I want the better me. I want a happy me. I want the me that's gonna go out there and be like, yeah, I may get hurt, but guess what? I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna dust off the dirt, and I'm gonna try it again. So do this with me. Okay? Do that 10 times every day. Hell, I do it every day myself because it improves my singing. Reflecting, like I mentioned, like way early when I started doing this. Like, if we don't reflect, then we forget. And so I use those 2 weeks, those 3 weeks to just reflect on what I've been doing, reflect on myself, who I am, because I may be different than what I was yesterday. You may be different than who you were yesterday, and I may be different tomorrow. You know, days turns into days, and days turns into other days, and honestly, think about it that small if it helps. Like, seconds turns to minutes, minutes turns to hours, and hours turns to days, days turns into weeks, weeks turns into months, and months turns into years, and then guess what? Like, so much time has passed. And one of the great things I heard since the beginning, since the start of Black History Month, was from, I don't know her name, please put the font in there. She's Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter. And what she said is, there's love, then there's hate. Only love can drive out hate. The amount of parts that love is, there are equal parts of hate. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you had the civil rights movement, and I'm kind of going off topic, but I'll get there. You had the civil rights movement where you have these people fighting for justice, for human rights, for good, you know what I'm saying, for love. And they did it, and they got it, they achieved it. But if it's not maintained, if it's not kept in check, if we don't keep hate in check, then hate will waddle a little bit, and then it'll kind of start to seep. You know, it'll start to crack the tree that we've been building, the trunk of the tree, and next thing you know, we're gonna have to get to a point where we gotta chop the tree off and kind of regrow what we did. None of that happens by one person. None of this happens. I can't do it by myself. You know, it takes It takes a family, it takes a community. So you don't go alone, you go together. If you want to get there fast, you can go alone, but I'm not sure if the quality is going to be there. I've never done it by myself, so that's why I'm saying that today. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Next week we're going to be continuing. Why can't I get that out right? So that's going to be next week, and then the week after we're going to be bringing on some really serious topics. We're going to be talking about criminalization and decriminalization when it comes to HIV cases. So I'm going to be bringing on some attorneys, and I'm going to be in Chicago and maybe somewhere else, I won't say, big city, to go ahead and speak with some attorneys and kind of get your knowledge on. So y'all stay tuned. And as always, subscribe wherever that button is, jing the bell, share the video, come on. And then as always, stay hopeful and victory, and remember to break HIV stigma, AIDS stigma, or any kind of stigma. It starts with one conversation at a time. Y'all have a good one, okay? Peace!